Hi, gang. Bob Boving with you for The Mystery Project and the latest episode of Peggy Delaney, written by James W. Nichol. The dead body of a homeless man starts Peggy on a search that leads to the rarefied home atmosphere of a wealthy NHL player and elements of horrific history. Kyra Harper stars as Peggy Delaney in this new story, Tough in the Corners.
Hello there. You've reached Peggy Delaney, Toronto Tribune. If you have something confidential you want to pass on, just leave your name and number. The walls have ears. I'll get back to you. If you're calling to give me fulsome, unqualified praise for my columns, feel free now. If you're calling to scream at me, fascist, communist, cop-loving, cop-hating, pro-lesbian, anti-lesbian, pretend anti-establishment, crypto-Bay Street swamp pig, go for it. After all, it is a quasi-democracy.
Ain't it the truth? Hello there, this is Dick Chesterfield from ACF, returning your call. Thanks a ton for your interest, but as you probably know, Tommy Wells prefers to remain behind the scenes when it comes to his charity work. That's just the kind of young man he is. Oh, however, he did want to mention that he's an avid fan of yours and never misses reading your column when the Leafs are in town. So, again, sorry to disappoint, and thanks so much.
Yeah, sure.
You sound happy.
Oh, just checking my messages. I thought I might have a different angle on this stiff story, but I guess not.
The stiff story?
Yeah, I found this homeless guy frozen to death under the Gardner Expressway a couple of days ago.
Oh.
Stiff as a board in a sleeping bag under some blankets.
That's awful.
Yeah, tell me about it. I was damn near ordered by our new managing editor to write about this guy. That's your second coffee, isn't it?
I guess so.
How come? You're always saying coffee's unhealthy.
And that's about your fifth cigarette this morning, isn't it?
So, anyway, I thought if I have to write about it, at least I can come at it from a different angle. I was trying to line up an interview with Tommy Wells. He does a lot of work with the homeless. He's a hockey player. He's cute.
You seem to have a thing for hockey players.
Just one. Your dad. And on our first date, he didn't say he was a hockey player. He misrepresented himself.
Why?
Because he thought I'd think he was dumb.
and now it's a cop.
Look, Amber, I've been doing some thinking. And the truth is, I'm not interested in getting involved with someone right now. So, the next time I see Carlos, I'm going to tell him that he's a nice guy and all that, but it isn't going to work out. So, we...
No wonder you've been in such a bad mood lately.
I thought you were the one in the bad mood.
Oh, are you doing this for me? Because I don't care who you go out with.
No, it's for me. I've got you to myself. For less than 4 months now. I want us to be together. Just the two of us.
Then how come I feel like you're only doing this because of me? Like I'm some kind of head case or something. Because I was thinking I could go home early and then, I could come back in June and write my exams or something.
Oh, God, no, don't. Don't even think that. Okay?
I don't want to be in the way. That's all. You have a life and I have a life. Everybody has a life and it's not the end of the world.
If you went home, it would be. The truth is, I don't know how to be a mother. I think I've established that over the years. But it doesn't mean that you're not important. Because I love you. Okay?
But I feel so stupid. I mean, I know that you can love me and you can love someone else like Carlos at the same time. I know you can, but I just don't feel like you can. You know?
Yeah. I know. Oh. I need a hug. Do you need a hug?
No.
Hey, Willie. Working hard?
Hey, Peggy. How's it going? Yep.
I hear you're featuring Tommy Wells on the back page next Saturday. Interviewed him yet?
Photo session at noon, meeting at 2. His place.
Willie, do me a favor. Let me tag along.
Why?
Just want to throw in a couple of questions. When the conversation lags, discreetly.
What kind of questions?
Well, lots of the Leafs do charity work now and then, right? But this guy, when he's not playing hockey, word is he helps out with the First Nation street patrol, almost full time. He's part native himself, comes from some little pissant reservation up on Georgian Bay called Ghost Hill. And he helps out with the homeless. That's interesting. Admirable. If he'll open up a little, maybe there's a column there.
This is about hockey.
And God is in his heaven and all is right with the world. I said I'll be discreet. How long have you been in this business, Willie?
4 years.
Well, this is how it works. We do favors for each other. All the time.
Hi there.
Willie Watson, Trib Sports.
Right on time. Come on in.
And this is...
Hi. I'm just guessing, but I don't think you're Tommy Wells.
No, and his representative, Dick Chesterfield, ACF.
Oh.
You're Peggy Delaney, aren't you? I think we met on your voicemail. I think I said no.
But it wasn't clear. No to what?
There's Willie.
Tommy! Great to see you again. A great game last night, Tommy, except...
We blew a 2-goal lead. Yeah. Good to see you too, man. When are you going back on the road?
I know. I hate not traveling with the team.
And you are?
Peggy Delaney.
Oh, okay. Fine. Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you, too. I write a column for the Trib. I thought you were a big fan of mine. That's what Dick here said.
Oh?
It's just a mix-up. She wants to interview you about your charity work, Tommy, and I said you preferred to keep that part of your life private.
Well, just a couple of brief...
It is private. It's just something I choose to do. I don't have to prove I'm a good person to anybody.
No, of course you don't.
Everything in this business is show business. Everything's product. You're advised to sell yourself back to the fans and position yourself for endorsements. But some things should be kept private. That way you still know who you are when you wake up in the morning.
Right.
I certainly couldn't agree more.
Oh? I'm not going to have my photo taken, smiling in some soup kitchen, or bending over some poor wino somewhere like he was a trophy.
No.
Except soup kitchens. All these other programs, they don't run on good intentions alone, do they? If you do these things, and the public knows it, and they identify with you, then you become an effective fundraiser too, don't you? Publicity is not always a bad thing.
Are you going to the optional skate this afternoon, Tommy?
Yeah.
Then let's talk hockey. There's only so much time.
That sounds good to me.
Penthouse, overlooking the Don Valley. You could see forever. You could see Buffalo.
Uh-huh.
How much do these kids make?
Depends. Tommy Wells, so-so player, traded in a 3-player swap with the Islanders 2 years ago. Third-line winger, tough when he has to be. 1.2 maybe.
1.2 million?
Yeah, he's nothing special.
God.
Get his autograph?
No, I was lucky they didn't throw me out. I asked him what his feelings were around that native guy they found frozen to death the other day. And he said, ask the politicians what their feelings are. And that was that.
My case.
What?
The guy under the bridge. I went down there. The morning they found him. It's my case.
No kidding. I've got to write this stupid column somehow. Maybe that's my angle. I'll interview you.
I don't think so.
Carlos.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's just... Well, I like your tie. Who picked it out?
I did.
When you were with your wife, who picked out your ties?
I did.
Is that an old one or a new one?
What's with all this tie stuff? What's up?
Oh, it's just confusing, that's all. How much I like to sit here with you in this stupid diner, drinking really bad coffee. That's all. I'm just trying to figure out why.
I like it too. A lot. I don't usually drink this much coffee. What's the matter?
Nothing. Let's talk about something else.
Like?
I don't know, let's talk about that guy, if he's your case.
Okay. He was murdered.
Pardon?
Yeah. His body froze after he was killed. Coroner's office says somebody strangled him and broke his neck doing it.
My column just got a lot better.
No, it didn't. This is off the record. Besides, there's nothing there anyway. Just the usual, pitiful nothing.
Okay.
I heard on the street he had a hassle with a couple of guys at some hostel he was staying in. They claimed he'd gotten into their cache of booze they'd hidden somewhere. Drank everything. That's a big no-no.
Big enough to kill him?
Oh, yeah. And they stole his boots. It was -20. He was lying there dead in his bare feet. People on the street are telling me that he was wearing a pair of really good-looking boots the day before. Insulated. Warm. So I'll bet you another coffee. If it wasn't the two guys who were after him, who killed him, then it'll turn out to be some other poor bastard, half frozen and half out of his mind, living somewhere in a cardboard box.
Now, that's a pile of sleeping bags.
It was twice as high at the beginning of winter.
You're Peter Longboat, aren't you? Director of First Nation Street Patrol?
Guilty as charged.
Peggy Delaney, Toronto Trib.
Oh, right. So you are. Just running a few of these down to Cherry Beach. Got a call. 3 women living in an empty factory down there. No heat, eh? I'm just gonna go check them out. See how they're doing.
Can I come along?
Sure. Joe Smith. That's the name he was known by, on the street anyway. Made up, probably. Wouldn't say where he was from. Not much of a story. Just some guy who froze to death in the middle of one of the most prosperous cities on the face of the earth.
Yeah. You know Tommy Wells, don't you? I tried to talk to him about working with you, but he didn't want to say anything about it.
That's too bad. Yeah, he's a good guy. He rides with us lots of nights. Some people recognize him, talk to him. Faces light right up.
Mine would have, too, if he talked to me. I understand you saw this Joe Smith about 1 a.m, the night he died.
Yeah, under the expressway. Down in the culvert, covered over with some old boards. We got him to sit up, drink a bit of hot chocolate. He seemed okay.
Why didn't you take him to a hospital?
Now they're all full. We take the frostbite cases into St. Mike's. Better to sit in the emerge all night than outside.
So he crawled back into his hole when you left.
That's right.
He was found lying half outside, though. Well, that's how that truck driver noticed him.
He was drunk. Probably tried to go somewhere. Passed out. Not that he had anywhere to go.
No.
Tommy asked me if I knew his name, too.
Oh?
Yeah. He was there, helping us out.
Andrew LaSalle.
How'd you find that out?
Lifted fingerprints off his corpse and checked our files. Last offense was in '84. Got 10 years. Served 6.
For what?
Rape. You raped a little girl.
Oh.
He was from out west somewhere. Moved into Ontario about 20 years ago. At the time of this offense, he was renting a room near Dundas and Sherburne, living in a house with this Chinese family. He attacked their daughter.
Oh, God.
Then, he skipped the city. But he'd been receiving welfare checks, And in the past, they'd been mailed to a few reservations around the province. Believe it or not, he was a ladies' man. He'd talk someone into taking him home, and then he'd live off them for a while. Grassy Narrows, Big Stick, Ghost Hill. They figured at the time he wouldn't be stupid enough to go back to anywhere he'd been before. He wasn't. They found him 4 months later, staying with someone on the Six Nations Reserve near Brantford.
Carlos, did you say Ghost Hill?
Yeah, why?
Just making notes. That's what I thought you'd said.
Jesus, what are you doing here?
I saw you come in.
This is the men's washroom. Couldn't you wait?
No, I couldn't. Tommy Wells, tell me what you know about him. Does he live alone, or does he have a live-in girlfriend? What about his family? How many? Where do they live exactly? Does he ever go back to that place he came from, that Ghost Hill place?
He has the best plus-minus on the Leafs.
Pardon?
It was pretty clear, at least to me, that Tommy didn't appreciate you being at my interview. Can't you take a hint? And besides, I don't want to jeopardize my relationship.
Shut the hell up.
Oh, yeah, sure. Now you...
Shut up! What team are you on? Do you think you play for the Leafs? You're on my team, Willie. My team. I should knock your head off. Where's your loyalty? To a teammate?
I never thought of you as a...
Look, I am going to write a really gushy column about that dead guy under the bridge. And I'm just going to mention Tommy Wells in passing. You'll love it. But I need some background. I want to be accurate. I'm a professional. I thought you were, too.
There's nothing to know. He doesn't have a steady girlfriend, as far as I know. He more or less stays to himself.
And his family?
I think his mother died a couple of years ago. He took a game off to go to a funeral. And he has a sister.
Oh?
Yeah, Joanne. She's not quite right. Something developmentally handicapped, something like that. He's really good to her. She lives in this home. It's right down the street from Tommy. That's why he lives up there.
Do you happen to know the name of this place? Where she stays?
No. Don't go there. Tommy wouldn't like that.
I'm not going to go there. It's just background, okay?
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's something like Cleo's home? No, Clara's home? It's named after somebody.
Hello there. Welcome to Claire's home. Can I help you?
Yes, hi. I'm Peggy Delaney.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh. I read your column all the time, Miss Delaney. What a pleasure. Oh, I'm Grace Harold, managing director.
Hi. I'm supposed to meet Tommy Wells here. He wanted me to meet his sister.
Oh? That's strange. He didn't mention anything to me.
You're kidding? Oh, well, he must have forgotten. Hockey players. Anyway, I'm about a half hour early, as it turns out. But since I am here, well, I might as well say hello to Joanne in the meantime. I looked at my appointment book. For some reason, I thought it said 2, but it was 2:30.
I do that all the time. Normally, of course, we do require the family's permission for visitors we don't know.
My mug's in the paper 3 times a week.
Yes. Well, why don't we go upstairs and say hello then?
Hello.
Hi.
This is a friend of Tommy's, Joanne. Tommy's coming to see you this afternoon.
Is he? Oh, good.
Well, he said he was. I don't know.
Tommy plays left wing on the third line of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He has 10 goals and 5 assists. That's really good on a checking line. He leads the team in plus and minuses.
So I've heard.
Joanne's got scrapbooks going back forever.
Yeah, he's a great player. He gets into fights, but only if someone makes him really mad. He lost 3 teeth in juniors one night. He's had his nose broke twice. He's had 123 stitches and a broken leg. But he did that skiing.
Oh. Are you older or younger than Tommy?
I'm 3 years older. Tommy is
7, January 18th. I'm 30 years old this July 12th. That's on a Sunday this year. Tommy always takes me out on my birthday.
He's a terrific brother. Isn't he, Joanne?
He's the best. He took me to St. Petersburg in Florida once. We stayed on the beach. We were on the 21st floor.
Joanne, I'm interested in what it was like for you when you were growing up. Do you go home at all? Do you go up to Ghost Hill?
Joanne? What's the matter?
I'm sorry. Did I say something? Did I upset you?
We don't go back to Ghost Hill. Tommy and me. I won't let him. No, I won't let him.
Homicide. Detective Carlos Sabo. I'm not available right now. Leave a message or press 1 for the sergeant's desk. Thank you.
Hi, it's me. If I don't call you by 1:30 tonight, will you look for me at Tommy Wells' place? 720 Don Mills. Penthouse number 5? Okay. Thanks.
Look who's here.
I thought you might be later. It's only 12:30.
Not much. I'm going to the bars after a game.
Too bad you lost.
Too bad you talked to my sister this afternoon. That wasn't nice.
Well, no one's ever accused me of being nice. Now, I'd like to talk to you about all the hours you've put in since coming to Toronto, out on the mean streets, night after night, walking the alleys and hostels.
Forget it.
It's almost as if you were looking for someone, isn't it?
Is it?
Found him, too. Living in a hole under the expressway. Andrew LaSalle. And he didn't die of exposure, did he, Tommy?
Would you like to come in?
Okay.
Want some music? Takes me 2-3 hours to unwind after a game.
No, thanks. Did you know Andrew LaSalle was convicted of the rape of a little Chinese girl here in Toronto?
No. I won't fall asleep until 4. Sometimes I won't fall asleep at all. Doesn't surprise me, though. Want a drink?
No, thanks.
I knew he was living here, on the street, a wino. A friend from Ghost Hill saw him and told me. He lived with my mother for a while. When my sister and I were little kids, my mother wasn't too careful sometimes.
Uh-huh.
One night, she got mad about something. Left us alone. Alone with Andrew LaSalle.
Uh-huh.
I was planning to kick him to death. I bought steel-toe boots. They're in that closet right over there. Rain pants, too. Kick him in his head and kick him until the snow was red and I was red up to my knees. I even knew where this dumpster was, full of garbage bags, where I could hide the boots and rain pants afterwards. It's almost funny.
What was?
I drove back down beside the expressway about 4:30 in the morning. Parked my car behind this factory. And I saw these 2 guys. One big guy was sitting on his back. He had the bastard's head pulled back, like he was breaking the neck of a fish, you know? And this little guy was jumping all around in the snow, yelling, teach you, steal my booze. They stripped off his boots, and they ran away. My boots were still clean. I walked over to him. Andrew LaSalle was dead. Maybe you could leave me and my sister alone now.
I don't blame you for hating him that much, you know.
You were right about a lot of things, but you were wrong about one thing.
What was that?
My sister. She tried to pull him off. Andrew LaSalle raped me.
Booked and in jail. Found them both under the Bloor Viaduct, living in a lean-to made of packing crates.
Good.
The big one's got bite marks on his hand. Little one was wearing an almost brand new pair of boots, with Andrew LaSalle's fingerprints all over them. Not too bright.
No. So, do you have enough to convict them?
LaSalle bled a little from his nose. There's blood and probably saliva on the big one's coat sleeves. With DNA testing? Probably.
Then, Carlos, can you forget what I've told you about Tommy Wells? You don't need him as a witness, do you?
No.
I love you.
Oh. In what way?
In every way. Thanks for coming up to his apartment building and waiting outside for me.
Thanks for not getting yourself bumped off.
Okay.
You have been listening to Tough in the Corners, the newest in our series of Peggy Delaney by James W. Nichol. Featured in the cast tonight, Kyra Harper as Peggy, Katerina Scarsone as Amber, Jonathan Fisher as Tommy Wells, George Bouza as Detective Carlos Szabo, Derek Boys as Dick Chesterfield, Greg Spottiswoode as Willie Watson. With them, you also heard Lawrence Bain as Peter Longboat, Jane Johansson as Grace Harold, and Jennifer Podemski as Joanne Wells. The music was composed by Milan Kimlicka and conducted by Ray Parker. The recording engineer was Drago Grandich. Sound effects were by Matt Wilcott. Colleen Woods was the associate producer. The program was produced and directed in Toronto by Bill Howell. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening.